How's it? Welcome back. So last night I went ahead and got to try out Robert Monroe's Gateway tapes. And I've been aware of Robert Monroe for many years by this point, but this was my first time ever getting to experience his work firsthand. However, binaural beats are definitely nothing new to me, right? I used to be really into them. In fact, like I have, still have like some really high quality audio files saved on some flash drive somewhere or on one of my own computers. Even have some of the kind of fancier things like these mind or light machines like the Casina or the Inky Do Light right here. Now, when it comes to using binaural beats, I would say that there's definitely a learning curve to getting used to them, where I've seen it at least implied in other places that, they're so powerful and they work so well that, you're guaranteed to rock it off and have this amazing experience with them. But I would say there's a learning curve, not necessarily a steep learning curve, but I noticed the more I used them, right, I got more comfortable with it and they just seemed to work better and quicker. However, last night was the first time trying to use one of these things in or listening to binaural beats in a long time, like at least a year. And then probably in the last like several years, I only would bust these things out like, a couple times a year at most. But nonetheless, I picked up, right where I left off. I was clocked in right away and I was rocketing off pretty quickly while listening to these tapes. Now, I was listening to them on Spotify, right? They basically have them for free on there, where I just searched out. The first thing I found was like this 4-track set list they have. It was about 30 minutes or so. But one thing is I'm not sure if the audio quality was totally correct, because in the beginning, he's speaking and he's saying like, okay, right now you should be hearing me in your right ear. And I could hear him, for sure, mostly in my right ear, but it was still kind of coming through on my left side as well. So I'm not sure if it was supposed to be like that. But on that note, over the years of, using binaural beats so much, I don't really see that much of a difference between binaural beats and then like, say, just relaxing nature sounds or some, just more generic type relaxing meditative music. One big difference though with these, with normal binaural beat tracks and then these gateway tapes is Robert's speaking over it. Right. And he's basically doing like a guided meditation or like a little hypnosis session along with it. And that was something that I both liked and disliked. Like if I was going to do multiple sessions with these, I would much prefer him not to talk and then just have the binaural beats going on by themselves. But, for this first session, I did think it was pretty cool and it was appreciated. My favorite track was track 3. And I also like how in the end of track 3, he very confidently states, I wrote this down because I don't want to mess it up. You are now complete in your resonant tuning. So I thought that was pretty dope and I got a kick out of that. And then even after that, he says, now I'll just, let you sit back in this and enjoy it. And then he stopped talking, which was also pretty cool. But then when it switches over to track 4, because these all play in quick succession, right? I liked how he's basically guiding you to focus level 3, right? Some deeper focus level. I don't know how he breaks them up, but I know he has different focus levels for all his stuff. But he's guiding you to that deeper level of focus level 3. And then like just little things like this, when he's counting, he has these really long pauses in between his counts as he's counting up to 3 to get you into this state. And I really like that because it just aligns perfectly with the deep, relaxed state, on the vibe that you're supposed to be in. And then on the flip side of that, when he's counting you down and kind of breaking you out of your trance, he counts, 3, 2, 1, and you're supposed to wake up at 1. He has these nice pauses, but they're shorter than they were, when he was counting you up into it. But like I liked how he states 1 twice. Right, so as he goes 3, 2, and then before he says 1, he continues to talk, and he's basically saying, you will fully wake up when I hit 1, right? And little things like that I like because it takes out the anticipatory nature of, okay, when's he gonna say 1, especially when he has these kind of longer pauses in him. What else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, okay, well I guess that's it. It did work. I did like it. It got me to a deeper meditative state. But this is it. I didn't see much of a difference between these gateway tape binaural beat sessions as opposed to just, the other binaural beat tracks that I have, saved on my computer or on one of these devices here. And in fact, like I would put binaural beats, ahead of just these generic, nature sounds or just, whatever standard relaxing meditation music. I would put it ahead of that, but, not really by all that much. And then personally, actually like these mind or light machines better because they have the binaural beats going along with it as well, right? But then they also sync up the light frequency flashes at your closed eyes, to the same frequency. So it just kind of helps you really get into that zone better. Plus it gives you a good place to put your object of attention when it's flashing behind your closed eyes specifically if you're doing what I'm doing, I'm basically waiting for hypnagogia to come on or have stronger mental imagery come on so it gets your attention pointed where you want it to be. I got a whole bunch of older videos on there on my channel if you want to go ahead and search them out. What else? Oh yeah, also, so when it comes to binaural beats, I do like how I like the more audio track or like like sounds to them, not just the static white noise type, which is, this is the gateway tapes are the more audio track type. So I do like those better than the static white noise. One thing to point out about these more melody driven types of tracks is you got to find one where you like the whole thing, right? Because even in these gateway tapes, so switch from like, one sound that you're really into and jamming with all the way to, some other completely different sound. And, that can be pretty jarring. So even, goodbye, Catman. So even on like my personal tracks that I have saved, I have tons, but I really only ever listen to a few of them because those are the only ones where I really like the entire thing. Because, a lot of these will be long. They'll be like 20 minutes or something like that, probably on average. Like what I wish I could do is I wish I could go in there and then just like edit out and cut out all my favorite parts from the different tracks and then just merge it into one super awesome track. But I'm too lazy to go ahead and figure out how to do that. But nonetheless, it was pretty cool. It did seem to work. It did get me to a deep meditative state, although, nothing beyond what I think I could have just done sitting in silence on my own. I also do like that it's basically free nowadays, right? It's just available on a lot of different places. I mean, I'm sure YouTube might have it. Like I said, it was on Spotify. You can go to different like Reddit posts and kind of download them there as well. Because I think initially, these things were probably, remember, I don't know the exact number, but they were like several hundreds of dollars, I believe, to get it. And that, I would say, is definitely not worth it, in my opinion. But they're essentially free now. So, why not go ahead, sample, and give them a try and see how you like it. So with that said, I'll wrap it up. My cat apparently needs something. Until the next video, keep your meditation practices legit.